Greetings, what's up, y'all? This is Krill from Out the Box. I'm back for another review video. Today I want to talk about a new EP from a producer by the name of Kaytranada. It is entitled Intimidated. It's really a short EP. It's about 3 tracks, like under 11 minutes altogether. And it features 3 different artists, 2 vocalists and 1 an MC who also sings a bit as well. So just to put it out there, like Kaytranada, if you're not familiar with him, he is a Grammy-winning producer in the genre of electronic dance music, but his music is versatile, right? Like he could do a record and have a hip-hop artist on it. He could have a soul artist on it. I just like his music overall. And this particular EP is his sound, right? Like if you are expecting to get something different from him, this is not the project. This is his sound. So I think for a lot of Kaytranada fans, they're gonna really appreciate this. As I said, it's under 11 minutes, so it goes fast, but the vibe is there from track to track to track. That's like the biggest thing about this 3-track EP. It just feels like it's one full 10 or 11 minute track, and there's just breakups in between. So let's go through some of the tracks. So the first track is the self-titled track entitled Intimidated, and it features vocalist Her on it, and her sound on here just works. I get the sense that he was going for like a subtle presentation as far as the vocalist on this, and she opens the track really nicely. It actually reminds me of some of the popular Janet Jackson tracks where she's kind of just like subtly kind of whispering her vocals on the track. And as far as the subject matter on here, like on this particular track, it sounds like she's talking about trying to hold on to a lover. But what's dope too about the music is that, and you'll find this out when you go into the next track, like it sounds like you're at a lounge and you're like dancing and you're vibing to that. And her vocals sounds like it's also talking about holding on to a love while dancing, right? While out partying. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm getting from the actual vocals and also the vibe. There's also a nice bridge where the flow of her singing kind of changes up before the outro, before the track ends. So that's really cool too. That's a really nice opener track. And it's so amazing how like when you go right into the next track, which is the track featuring Thundercat, it's called Be Careful. You don't even realize that the track changes. Like it just seamlessly goes into the next one. But of course, when you hear him, you realize, oh, it's a new track. So I like that the mixing on this is awesome. Like how he was able to make the transition from one track to the other. So then you go into the track with Thundercat, and he has his signature falsetto voice, right? It's still subtle on the beat, just like Her's track, but you know, different track, different kind of voice, different flow, but still that subtle singing over it. The drums on this track hit right away, right? And it sounds like, as far as the subject matter, it sounds like he's talking about trying to get to like a dance party as well. But the girl that he's supposed to be going with, she looks so hot, she looks so good that they probably might not even make the party. So that's like kind of what I'm getting from the subject matter, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, the music is so good that you probably don't even pay attention to the subject matter. You pay attention mostly to the vibe that the track is giving off. But I just wanted to kind of shout that out as to what I'm getting. So that track kind of just flows right through. I don't think there's much change-ups in beats. And if there is, it's really subtle. So you kind of feel it all the way through. Then we get to the last track, the third track, which to me is the highlight of the EP. This track, to me, makes this EP I wouldn't say it makes it stand out, but this is definitely the highlight of the EP. And we have MC Mach Homie on this, right? And this track is called Pay for Haiti. As you know, he put out an album earlier this year called Pray for Haiti. Really, really good album. So he switched it up on this one song and called it Pay for Haiti. And this beat, again, is another beat that's subtly different, but still is married to the vibe of the other two beats. So the transition really works here too. But what really stands out for this track is the multiple change-ups, not necessarily of the beat, but of Mach Homie's vocals. So he starts off with a slightly singing melody, and then he goes right into the rhymes and starts rhyming in the Haitian patois. But what's dope about the way he's rhyming is that it's a fast rhyme, but it's moving in rhythm to the dance rhythm, right? So that's what to me stands out. I don't think I've ever heard him rhyme like this on a dance beat, right? So he's rhyming in that rhythm, but it's in the Haitian patois. Then he changes again and starts singing, but he's also in the Haitian patois, and he does that singing that's reminiscent to like how Mos Def sings, you know, on tracks when he does decide to sing. And it's also a signature sound of his too that he does on a lot of his music, but he's singing in patois. So that's 3 change-ups already. Then he changes up and goes back to the first subtle kind of singing melody, right? But he does that in English, right? Then he changes up again, but this time he gives us the rhyming in English, but goes back to the same flow that's fast, that is in rhythm with the dance vibe. And then he goes back to the singing again. So there's so much happening. There's the patois singing, the patois rhyming, the fast rhyming, the English singing, the English rhyming, and there's so much different bridges in this, and the bridges come with his vocals. So it was pretty cool to hear Mach Homie on this track, on this EP. I thought it was really dope to hear him like this. And I definitely think this is the shining track out of all of the tracks. But all of the tracks work, they just work seamlessly together. So this is a really dope project. I think just alone for the vibes, you'll enjoy it. I think it's one of those EPs that you might listen to it and probably, yeah, you might listen to it and be like, oh, it sounds good. And then you might not come back to it. But I encourage you to go listen to it over and over again and listen keenly. And I think the more you listen, the more you will appreciate the music as a whole. It's definitely one of those projects that I feel like you'll hear it, you like it, you'll stop playing it, then move to something else. But I think if you give it repeated spins, you'll begin to appreciate it more and more. So big ups to Kaytranada on this really great project. It's called Intimidated. It's a 3-track EP. And yeah, man, it's out now on digital streaming platforms. Thank y'all for tuning in to another video. I'm your host, Krill, representing Out the Box. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you like the videos.